what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2001 Acura Integra. Up front is a 1.8 liter inline 4 and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this Acura Integra because not only is it a very clean example, only 106,000 miles on the clock, one owner car up until recently, but also this is the final year for the Acura Integra. And so this is sort of my final thoughts on this generation of Integra overall. I've driven a couple of them. I've driven a lot of Civics from this generation, of course, that share a lot of parts. And so we'll get into all of that later on. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that 1.8 liter B18 engine under the hood. It does have VTEC. I've always loved the B18. I've always loved the D16. I love the Ds and Bs from the 90s. I just do. The car is really rev happy. It's happy to sing and dance and do whatever you want it to do. You just gotta kind of work for it a little bit. It's very opposed to the V8s or V6s of the era, which took a lot less convincing in order to make power. This, you gotta say, hey, I really want it. And it goes, you sure? You sure? All right. Let's do it. And that's kind of what I love about these engines. It's more of a relationship. You have to learn to trust a Honda motor that the power is gonna be there. And the Honda motor has to trust you enough to give you that power. I like that. It's a friendly little thing. Like I said, paired to a 5-speed manual transmission, as it should be, although you could find automatic Integras. This is the manual, and it is lovely. Last but not least about the Integra's drivetrain, it is, of course, front-wheel drive. How does it feel to drive a 2001 Integra? Well, it drives just like any late 90s Civic. But that doesn't help you if you haven't driven one of those. It's very light on its feet, it's very nimble, and it's very rev-happy. It feels like a very thin watch spring. It'll bounce all around the room, and there's just not much mass for it to carry around. And we'll talk about that towards the end of the video with modern cars and that sort of thing. But this car is just a tennis ball, just waiting to get chucked at the wall and go wherever it wants. And that's what I love about driving it. Of course, we do have thinner A-pillars because it is a 90s car, essentially. Steering isn't too heavy or too light. I'm a big fan of it, and overall, I'm just a big fan of the driving experience of the Integra from 2001. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges. Off to the left is my coolant temperature and tachometer, and off to the right is my speedometer and fuel. I do have horn buttons as well as cruise control on the steering wheel, but that's it. And off to the left, we do have sort of hidden a cruise control button. Then we have our climate vent and our sunroof options. Moving on to the door, we do have the power mirrors and power windows, but up above that we have the power locks. Now the interesting thing about this is that the power lock switch really sticks out, makes it really easy to hit. However, it also makes it incredibly easy to hit with a coat hanger through a hole in the window trim. And so these were stolen quite a bit because all you need is a straightened out coat hanger, pop it open, and all that's left to do is hot wire it and you're gone. So 90s era Hondas were stolen quite a bit, much like what we're seeing today with Kia. Moving into the center, we do have a little digital clock with a little door that will allow you to adjust the clock. Thought that was kind of funny. Then we have our climate control vents, hazard switch, and rear defrost, and our climate controls. Very basic here. Where to send it up top, fan speed and temperature down below. Nothing new. Then we do have an aftermarket radio because any radio from the early 2000s is not going to keep up with modern tech. And then we have our ashtray and cigarette lighter and our pop-out cup holders. We'll do a big friggin' bottle test, but it's a joke. There was no shot in any dimension of this passing the big friggin' bottle test. Then we have the shifter. I really love the 90s style of the shifter. It almost sort of has that Top Gun pistol grip style shifter to it, and I love seeing that. I've always enjoyed that with these style cars, and it's also nice to just see an Integra with a stock shift knob. I don't think I've ever reviewed any Civic or Integra from this era with a stock shift knob, so I guess that's a first for the channel. Down below that we have the parking brake center console, and that's pretty much it. And moving on to the seats. The seats are cloth, however, they are comfortable. Very, very 90s in their style and design as well. And I really miss these seats. These seats had a high emphasis on comfort in this era, where today's modern seats are very stiff and taut. And I don't know, I miss this 90s Honda era. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So let's go do a back seat review. Oh, yeah. A little bit of a crash landing, but we're in the back of the Integra. Not sure I've ever been in the back of an Integra. It's fine. It's actually not fine. My head's hitting the ceiling. My knees have no chance of existing, or I should say coexisting with the back of the front seats. I get a little tray back here. I get a little ashtray. So, you know what? At least I can smoke one out while suffering back here. No good, but it's a coupe from the 90s. I don't know what I expect. I didn't expect it to be good, so I'm not actually disappointed. It's just, yeah. Also, the parking lot in which I'm reviewing this car in right now just got blacktop done maybe 2 days ago, and so it is just wafting and hitting me in the nose. Smells like summer, baby. Let's go take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space. Right around the back of the 01 Integra. Single key here, pop it up like that. And it is a hatch, just like the modern Integra. So nothing really too crazy there. I always forget that these are hatches, but once we are back here, we do have a little privacy cover we can lift up. Plenty of space back here. I had a friend, Felix, with one. Shout out to Felix. We fit so many wheels back here, so many cases of Yoo-hoos and whatnot. So plenty of space, not really a worry here in the Integra, especially from this generation. And you know what? 90s sports cars, Mazda RX-7, Toyota Supra, not really the NSX, but a lot of them had really great hatch space, and so the Integra fits in that category with the rest of them. Love to see that. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I really always have loved the look of the Integra, especially the coupes. As much as I really actually do want to review a four-door, I think that would be a lot of fun, because they did make them in four doors, and they look kind of wonky, but the coupe is the best looking, but in functionality, I'd prefer a sedan. Whatever. I've always liked the dual headlights up front as well. I think that's a nice, cool touch that you don't really see much of anymore. And so for 2001, this was kind of the end of that trend. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving an 01 Integra? Well, given the fact that this is the final year, you do see a lot of holdovers from the 90s. This feels like a 1996 through and through, and the fact that it actually came out 5 years later, can't blame it too hard, but also if I would have bought this in 2001, I would have been like, wow, this is old. But that's neither here nor there. I think a lot of people give the new Integra a little bit of crap because it doesn't drive like this. It needs 320 horsepower to feel similar to this, 130? And a lot of people blame automakers for making cars so big, and that's fair. The new Integra is a lot bigger. They're only in four doors and hatchbacks, so I get that. But you also have to remember that there are a lot more safety requirements. This is not a very safe automobile. It has an airbag for the front two occupants, but that's it. Not a whole lot of crash safety that goes into this, and so modern vehicles have to have blind spot monitoring. That makes the bumpers bigger. They have to have more airbags. It makes the A, B, and C pillars bigger. A lot of them are hybrid now. The Integra isn't, but you get my point. Things change, and so I don't think we'll ever go back to an era of super light vehicles like this. I don't think we'll ever go back to a time where 140 horsepower can offer you the most fun in the world, like it does here in the Integra, because this is just a simple little car. It makes good power, it's fun to rev out, it has a manual transmission, and it looks good. I mean, if you have anything else on your Christmas list, I think you're just lying. And so, for 2002, they swapped out the Integra with the RSX. It was really a continuation of the Integra, but Acura was switching their naming system to 3 letters. We got the TSX, we got the TL, we got the MDX, RDX. So RSX, it fit all of that, but it really was the continuation of the Integra, and this car's ethos did in fact live on. But something exactly like this didn't. And as we get further and further away from 2001, the light is becoming dimmer and dimmer. And so rather than complain and cry about modern Acura, I'm gonna sit here today in this 01 Integra and enjoy it for what it was. enjoy this era of cars for what it was, instead of chastising modern Acura for what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Keegan for letting me take out his Integra. This was so cool, such a sweet example, low mileage example, and I love it very, very much. Keegan is a good friend of mine. I've reviewed so many of his vehicles. Huge asset to the channel, and I always appreciate him very, very much. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.